right, ladies and gents, here we are again. It's Jay and Ian. We're just fresh off watching the Olympic bronze medal match and the gold medal match, which is pretty cool. And yeah, man, huge win by Australia last night. Did you catch any of it, Ian?
Yeah, I catch some of it here and there. I was in the middle of spending family time, so
Mm.
yeah, it was good though. I thought Doncic should have had more of an impact, but I guess he didn't really have a much of a supporting cast, whereas Australia is more stacked.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, firstly, Australia, it's just huge game by Paddy. It just shows how much care, importance he places on the Boomers. He's become like the absolute leader as well, and he was pretty adamant that they weren't going to go away without that bronze medal. So huge achievement for Australia. And you're right. I think Australia did have more representation from an NBA point of view, anyway, talent point of view. So yeah, from a talent perspective, I think they had Slovenia covered. But yeah, really good game, man. High scoring was in the hundreds. 107 to 92 or something like that. Probably the highest scoring game, I'd say, in the Olympics as well. So, and just lots of great stories, right? There's Dante Exum, I thought, had a really good closeout 5 minutes as well. Played some lockdown D, hit a couple of threes, a couple of assists as well. And he played really hard. You could just see it. You could just see that he was trying his ass out, basically, and really hope he gets signed up. He's still a free agent, by the way. He doesn't have a deal. And, Joe Ingles had a pretty up and down tournament, but came through in this game as well as the number two guy, which he should have been the number two guy all the way through, hit some big buckets as well. Just lots of great stories, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good to see Joe back up and running again. Because if you look at him, right, like him and Paddy are probably what would you call the oldest players on the team. The interesting thing was that they didn't play Delhi. I think Delhi's time's over.
Yeah, his offense has definitely left him, man. I think he's still a decent defender, but his offensive game's kind of gone now, to be honest. And the other guy, I thought, seriously, Chris Goulding, man, I love that guy. He's such an awesome shooter. It's just, from his shooting perspective, I reckon he's almost like an NBA level talent. I don't think he's got the athleticism to hang in there from an NBA point of view, but geez, they should be looking at him as well. I thought he hit a couple of really big buckets in the second quarter, especially when Paddy was off and the game was fairly even. So yeah, Goulding, massive game. Landale, after a bit of a horror semi-final against USA, just fresh after signing with the San Antonio Spurs, he had a pretty good game as well in the bronze match. He kind of showed what he can do as a running up and down center that can take lobs and block shots. Lots of great stories. And from a Slovenia point of view, man, Doncic, my friends were texting me saying, man, this guy's a bitch. I have to say, a lot of whinging and whining, man.
Yeah, he was whining quite a lot. And he was playing injured. He injured himself during the France game. But yeah, it's no excuse to be a whinger.
Yeah, and I just think you're the best player on that team, and you can constantly complaining, whinging, temper tantrums. It can't be good. It can't be good for a team environment. And it makes me think what the Dallas Mavericks would be like, right? What that locker room is like, because apparently he was clashing with the coach. He doesn't talk to Porzingis. He might be a bit of a problem over there. But he's still only 23, I think. So he probably needs to mature a bit more. It just goes to show, right? He's got old world talent, but mentally he's probably not really there yet to be absolutely number one. Man, really great moment for Australia. Even listening to Andrew Gaze at the end of the game, how emotional he got. We talked about the journey the Boomers have been on. It really is like this tight subculture that the Boomers have. He talked about speaking to his father, who almost pioneer of creating the sport here in Australia. He was talking about when his father was stepping in to the sport. Only 200 registered players in Australia back in the 60s or something like that.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show it's still early days for this sport in Australia, and something like that might take it to the next level. A lot of kids will take this up again. So, yeah, I mean, you think about those great teams with Gaze and Heel. I think they were in a bronze medal game in 2000 and just lost to a pretty close game. I think Heel, Gaze, Bradkey, that crew. Anstey was there as well. I think 2016 in Rio, Bogut, and of course still Paddy Mills and these guys are there as well. And I think they lost a bronze medal match as well. So they've been building, and they're definitely deserving of the bronze medal. Yep. Did you catch the USA game?
Yeah, I caught that one.
Yeah, it was interesting. I watched. Yeah, I watched it, and it just looked like America were going to take the game away in the second quarter. I was surprised France hung with them, and to be honest, I was pretty surprised the number of NBA players France did have.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah,
that's why they were so good. I think.
I mean, they've got Rudy Gobert, three-time defensive player of the year. He's all-star level player, which is awesome. That with guys like Nick Batum, I can't say this guy's name, but Luol, I'll call him Luol. He's got two surnames. Defensive sort of players, him, Nitin Kia, Nicolo. Yeah, some decent players there, so I'm not surprised they actually made it through to that silver medal game. But I reckon if Australia played them in the semi-final, we would have beaten them.
Played France?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
How'd you see the American? What was the key takeaways for you from that American game?
It all centered around KD still. I mean, I think if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't gel together. Like he basically ran the offense. I think for France, I think Gobert just thought he was still in the NBA because he fouled out right at the end with his fifth foul. Because in FIBA, it's only 5 fouls, mate.
Well, you're saying he might have forgot. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The Stifle Tower, man. Yeah, I saw a bit of a back and forth between him and Draymond. Obviously, no love lost there.
Yeah.
Not the best of friends.
I thought Draymond did really well as well. He showed what he's still capable of and of bringing to the Golden State.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the way Zach LaVine played as well. And we don't get to see a lot of Zach LaVine, right? There's not a lot of ESPN games or TNT games of Chicago, but just crazy athleticism. And I thought he kind of stuck out for me aside from KD a fair bit. Booker's game is pretty nice for the FIBA game as well. Dame,
yeah, you can't leave Booker open, and they left him open
for sure, exactly. Dame, interestingly, had a couple of moments in the final, but before that, he was not as noticeable, right? I guess he needs the ball in his hand. He needs to be the number one guy to really shine. But yeah, KD's definitely the man on that team, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think Dame, he is more ball dominant, whereas KD, he just give him the ball, he'll shoot. He was kind of like a Melo, but without needing the ball.
yeah, no doubt. Exactly.
I think Jason Tatum showed what he'll bring in years to come as well. Definitely, he's up there with the he fits well with the international ball.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Next sort of crop for the USA team.
I think back even just a few years. Where's Spain?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Spain. I guess with the Gasol brothers aging, they've kind of moved on. There's guys like Rudy Fernandez. There were just a number of guys that, really good role players in the NBA. They don't have as many of those anymore, interestingly. Hey, I wanted to say Louis Scola, man. What a warrior. I think 5 Olympics.
Yeah.
41 years old, and when Australia beat them, I think it was in the quarterfinal, it was a really nice touch, actually. I thought long-standing ovation. Real warrior, again, plays a heart and soul type player, plays for his country, really represents his country for everything it means. Bit of a hat tip for Louis Scola as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, free agency.
Yeah, free agency. Yeah, there's a lot happening in the first 2 days, and then it's sort of settled down a little bit.
Yeah. First of all, what do you think of all the moves for the Lakers? Everyone talks about the Lakers, so let's start there.
I think they've got to be very creative in how they fill that roster, because they have 3 players that are up to the tax limit.
A lot of old dudes on that team, man. A lot of 35-year-olds there. So, and I got to say, I don't know enough about Wayne Ellington, Malik Monk. I know they've been signed up, but almost like the great hope for the shooting guard position, really. So we've got to see what those guys do. Obviously, it's awesome having Melo play with LeBron. I think that's going to be a nice little story there. I think, given the way Melo played last season, he'll be good for 10, 15 minutes a game coming off the bench, getting some buckets, hitting some threes. So that's going to be really cool to see as well.
Yeah. I mean, they still have a couple of people from the old days. I think they still have Gasol.
Dwight Howard's back. Yeah. That's cool.
That's interesting. I think Malik Monk, he should be okay. He didn't really get a chance to show his skills when he was playing. They've just got to work out how to play. I think you'll see first half of the year, Lakers are going to be shit as they work out how they're going to play with each other.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, it's a completely new roster. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be this dominant force in the West or not. It's going to be amazing, or it's going to be spectacular failure, I think, to be honest. But let's not forget that they've still got LeBron and AD, man, and just those 2 guys alone is enough to get healthy, is enough to get into the finals. So let's wait and see. The other team I'm going to be really curious to see is Chicago, man. Pretty nice team over there now, with Lonzo going over, Zach LaVine's there, DeMar DeRozan as well. Nice little threesome there.
Apparently, the NBA is going to invest that deal, the Lonzo and Kyle Lowry deals.
Oh, really?
To see if there's anything dodgy that happened to get them
going. Oh, man. You know what? NBA needs to chill out, man. They need to let Chicago be good again. Seriously, because they've been down for so long. For a major market team, they've been down for a long, long time. It's about time they thought, you know what, let's make a play here. And our man, Alex Caruso, is going to be playing a nice little defensive role there as well, which should be interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't think this guy gets enough credit, but Nikola Vucevic is their center. So that's definitely now a playoff team, right? Like, easily.
Yeah, definitely.
So that'll be a nice, fun team to watch.
I wonder, because the rest of the team is really no one's, mate. Don't really recognize the rest of the names on that roster.
Yeah, true. I think that's a pretty good team to get them into the playoffs. Though, New York Knicks, they had a nice couple of signings as well, right?
Yeah, they did.
Kemba Walker is gone to his hometown, New York, and I think they re-signed Julius Randle. I'm pretty sure they gave him an extension. And Derrick Rose is back. That's kind of cool.
That's good that he's back. Well, I don't know if it's good or bad, but like he was pretty much their best player last season.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Especially when Randall just froze in the playoffs, it was kind of like Derrick Rose looking at him like, "Hey, dude, you meant to be the man. You ain't doing shit,"
Yeah,
kind of thing. So yeah, New York.
yeah. They're New York. I don't know. They're all a bunch of mid-level players.
Yep,
The two people on the big money aren't really playing to their money, which Randall and Evan Fournier.
yep, yeah. Evan Fournier. Yeah. Speaking of France, we didn't talk about him, but when he's playing for FIBA, when he's playing for France, FIBA rules, he's a awesome
Yep.
player. So if he brings that
Yep.
game to New York again, they're going to be stronger. They're definitely going to be stronger, right? With the additions of Kemba Walker and Fournier. So New York's building, man. It's cool to see. Couple of young players there as well. So
Yep. I don't think it's a conference-winning team, but we'll see.
we shall wait. That's a wait and see. For me, we touched on. I think the Lakers did win out on free agency, getting Westbrook, and didn't give up a lot for him. Right, they got rid of a couple of bad deals: Kuzma, Caldwell Pope, and a 22nd pick in the first round.
I think they got rid of the bad locker room as well.
Exactly
Bad locker
right.
room drama.
Clear up that crap with Kuzma, who's saying he should be a star and everything like that. So, hey, speaking of losers individually, what about this guy, man? Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
Yikes, man. 85 million by Lakers. 85 mil offered by Lakers for 4 years. So that's like 20 something million a year for a guy that did nothing in the playoffs. He was a sixth man the year before. To turn that money down, what do you think? Do you think he's worth more than that?
No, and I can't believe he turned it down, and I can't believe it was even offered because he was shit house. I don't think he was $84 million worth.
Yeah.
Because you're talking, CP3 money.
I know, right? That's the thing, man. I mean, he's not an all-star. He hasn't proved it in the playoffs. He's up to this point. He's mainly been a really good
He's a bench
sixth man.
player, so 84 mil for a bench player. That's almost,
Oh man, there's been some horrors. I mean, I don't know where he's going to get that money from. He's going to have to accept something a lot less. Speaking of which, Dennis Schroeder gets a hard time, but Victor Oladipo, I think he turned down a 2-year, $45 million extension from Houston just last year. I think start of last year. Guess what he was signed for Heat with this time around? Veterans minimum. So that's man. You're saying no to 22 mil, and you're then writing a deal for 1.5 mil. That's
I think
gonna hurt, man.
when you're a bench player, you just take whatever money you can get. And I think he's only going to get maybe 8 mil at max.
Yep. I mean, now the money's dried up. They're saying Boston might be a play for him, but Boston's not going to pay him $20 million a year.
Yeah,
No chance. He's going to have to accept something way less. So
yep.
That's what happens, man. I guess when you want to turn down money like that, we've seen it happen before, right? I think, even Kelly Oubre Jr. He just signed for 22 million, so that's like 11 million a season or something like that with the Hornets. He'll be nice there.
Yeah, so there's only the mid-level exceptions left at most clubs. Like if he's willing to take 6 mil, the Warriors might take him because they missed out on Patty Mills.
Hey man, on 6 million, Patty Mills signed 2 years for 12 million, 6 million. I reckon that's disgraceful. He should be on double. Yeah, I think he should be on double that money.
Yeah,
it's.
But I think he's happy to go there and get a chip, and maybe he'll get more later after that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's 30-something now, right? I just can't believe that's all he could get. Surely he could have got more money on the market. I don't understand that. Maybe he just wanted to try and win a ring. But anyway, it's a good win for Brooklyn, and it's nice. It'll be nice to see Patty on the Brooklyn Nets as well. But he should have got more money. Winners for me again. Miami going to be better as well with Kyle Lowry going over there. Kyle Lowry going to Miami. That's kind of funny in a way. Bad Boys, if anyone picks up on that reference.
Yeah, no.
Um, yeah, so Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker as well signed there. So that was kind of interesting that Bucks didn't want to keep him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think the Bucks will repeat. Like I said, when they won, they're going to be a one and done type of team.
Yeah, no doubt. Because definitely this coming season will be about Lakers and Brooklyn. Like for sure about Brooklyn, Lakers if they're healthy, and really Brooklyn if they're healthy too, because those guys get injured a lot. And they've really loaded up, and we've got to wait and see what the Golden State Warriors do as well, because Iguodala goes back to Golden State. He's 37 years old. He's not going to be the same player, but it's going to be interesting to see Clay coming back if this becomes like a top 4 seed team.
Yeah, exactly. There's talks around, I think, how I guess Bobby Portis has stayed. Jay Crowder, I think he stayed. But yeah, I just don't see that happening.
Hey, speaking of losers, New Orleans Pelicans. I don't know. They've done a couple of questionable things, man. One, they got rid of Lonzo Ball. Maybe the fit wasn't great with Zion.
Yep.
But they signed Devontae Graham for 4 years, $47 million.
Yep.
And I think they got Thomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple as well in a deal with Chicago. And out goes Steven Adams and Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe. So pretty big pieces out. I don't think these guys got better, right? Jonas Valanciunas comes in too. So yeah,
nah, definitely haven't.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're trying to improve the shooting. More spacing is definitely the go there, because when you look at it, Valanciunas in for Adams. Valanciunas is a decent shooter for a center, and also Devontae Graham is a spot-up shooter as well compared to Lonzo Ball. So maybe that's what they're trying to do, create some space for Zion. But I think that's an L for them.
Yeah, that is an L. What do you reckon about the Heat getting one of the Morris twins, mate?
Yeah, I think that's a nice addition for Heat. They've improved from last season. But more noticeable is Duncan Robinson, man. 90 mil, 5 years. Undrafted.
I know, huh?
Undrafted. I think he was playing college ball 3, right? It's like the most rags to riches story ever. We've got to celebrate that. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done for him, man.
And I think he played out of his skin last year, and if he can repeat that or even go one step further, he'll definitely be worth the money and, be keeping the Heat smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Congrats, man. That's like generational wealth. He's just created there, coming from nowhere. I remember listening to him in the 2019 playoffs, 2020 playoffs. Him saying, he didn't think he was going to get drafted, and he was pretty much getting ready for a corporate job, like a job as a working for a player agent. But then he got the call, and here we are, man. A couple of years later, 90 mil. That's, got to celebrate that. That's really cool. Speaking of big money, man, old ass point guards. These dudes are fleecing teams.
Yep.
Chris Paul, he just signed. He's 36 years old, turning 37 next year. 120 mil for 4 years. That's 40 million each.
No, it's 30. It's over 4 years, right? So
30. Sorry,
he's
30
actually taken less money, actually, to his play option. So he had a play option of 44 mil.
44 mil, but
for 1 year.
4 years, 30 mil each.
He has 44 year for one year, and he's basically reduced his money by 10 mil, which allows the Suns to actually, bring a bit more help in.
Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable money for him. 30 mil actually, compared to 44 mil. No doubt.
Yeah, I think let's look at what they bring in for that team. because definitely we'll see if they get the help that they need. And if CP3 plays the same that he did last year, geez, it's going to be interesting out in the West.
Yep, yep, no doubt. And look, Mike Conley, 72 million for 3 years. Been injured a lot lately. He's a decent player when he's up and running, but again, it's decent money, man. It's like 24, 25 million a season. Well done to him as well. And Kyle Lowry, 35 years old, 3-year, $87 million deal. So these old dudes, man, getting that money.
Lowry's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean he was great. He was great with that championship. I think they're talking about retiring his jersey, which is a nice touch, right? For a relatively young franchise, the only championship team to retire his jersey who's been there for maybe 6-7 years. So I think it's a pretty cool touch.
And I guess lastly, Ben Watch. he's going nowhere, I think.
Oh man, he's cut off communication. I've got to say, man, I think a lot of people have said this. How could you not want to be part of that Boomers culture, develop your game at the highest level, and be part of that experience? It says something about him, right? I don't know. Unless he was really scared of exposing his skills, and he really thought this is a do or die player summer for me. I really need to work on my skills.
I don't agree with that. So for me, I would, if I was him, I would want to practice in a game situation, because hitting shots in the gym, who fucking cares, right? Boo-hoo. How much pressure you're going to be on, right? Even if you go and play against fucking your high school mates or whatever, you're not in a high pressure situation, and it's gonna make you just, oh great, you're gonna do it, but then in a game you're still gonna revert to your little scaredy cat tactics.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he could have really used this experience to, one, get some fire in his belly, build that Australian culture, and it's not just about him as well, right? Add to the Australian Boomers culture, and have a more of an offensive, say in his game as well. It's just really strange. And then I look at his ex-teammate or current teammate, whatever you want to say, Matisse Tybalt. No one knew he was bloody Australian until the start of the Olympics. Look at him, completely embraced the way they've played. You can tell the players love him, and he has really loved this experience as well. And he's going to be probably a better player, having gone through it.
He's going to grow for it,
Exactly. So, yeah, it's strange, man. But that's him. I guess he's just waiting to see where he goes. I think he'll be best suited if he goes some backwater, like I was saying to some of the dudes I talked to, like an Orlando or OKC or I don't know, somewhere no one's going to hear from him, to be honest. But he's got a huge season ahead. His brand has taken huge hits now here in Australia and in America, the way he played in the playoffs. So, yeah, he's got to do some soul searching, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's nowhere. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere, because unless Philly starts to, accept poo trades, because they were asking for ridiculous things for Ben, and no one's ever going to be paying that, because no one wants to be fleeced.
Yeah, I know, right? 4 first-round draft picks, not for Ben, man. Maybe 2. That's insane. But I guess Philly thinks there's a lot of upside, and Philly's trying to make it really hard for him to leave. I suppose they want to keep him still, which is interesting. But that's another topic altogether. We'll wait and see where he lands. Yeah. But yeah, man, pretty cool week of basketball. Great to watch and tune in to the Olympics. It's really cool to see these multimillionaires, putting in that effort, especially from the American side of things, and being really putting a lot of pride in their performance. And Australia, man, what a culture they've created, those guys. It's just it's almost like a club level culture. They've brought it to international stage. So it was really nice to see. And yeah, man, free agency. It's going to be an interesting season.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, thanks. So yeah, tell your mates, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep, and check out Patreon. If you haven't used Patreon before, check us out on that and get used to the app as well. It's kind of cool.
Peace out.
Adios.